Hi and welcome to day 5, setting your intent and using your intuition. Now this is quite a big one for me. This is something that I'm really working on a lot personally. So let's just quickly recap, just very briefly on the days we've done so far. So we've had day 1 with introduction and energy. Day 2, we were developing awareness and identifying those thoughts and feelings that we have a lot or regularly. Day 3, we looked at decluttering, and day 4, it was all about making those loving choices for ourselves. So day 5, intent and intuition. Okay, we're going to kind of look at what they are, and how to use them, how to develop them. Okay, so we're going to start with intuition first of all, and as I said, just at the top there, I've put, it's all about the whispers of your heart. That's what your intuition is. It's the whispers of your heart, and I love that. I love to sort of see it in that way. Intuition, the word itself means inner teacher. So it's your inner guidance, it's your inner compass, it's your vibes, it's your gut feeling, it's your spider senses. We all have different ways of defining it and calling it. So, we all have it, but we don't all choose or always choose to listen to it. And for me, it is one of the most natural and most important natural tools that we have within ourselves. We all have it, and it will allow us to make those decisions that are so perfect for us in the moment. So it's the best thing that we can use to make those decisions that are right for us. So how does our intuition communicate with us? Well, it can be a thought that pops into our head. It can be just an inner knowing, a feeling. It could be as simple as someone just saying something to us and we just know, yeah, that is it. That really speaks to us, and we go ahead and do something about it. It can just be something that comes up into a consciousness, like something we see on the telly or an advert or something that we read somewhere. Okay, this is all the intuition, and behind it all is the universe. I mean, you may not kind of necessarily agree with me and want to go there and may find that a bit woo-woo, but I definitely believe that the universe speaks to us through our intuition, and that is how we get our guidance. Okay, so that brings us on to how can we ask for help and guidance? How can we ask for this intuition to come in, this intuitive feeling to come in, or this thought to come in? Well, we can simply ask the question in our head, but we have to be specific, just be very specific in this question, because if you start saying, oh, well, I'd like to kind of find the right job for me, that isn't too stressful and isn't too many hours in the day and requires sort of weekend and nightly work on top of that, and I want it to start at 9 and end at 3, and it's no good if you go on and on, because we're just going to lose the essence of what it is we need guidance with, and the universe just simply cannot cope with that. You have to be very specific, something like, how can I find the right job for me? I would love the right job for me. Just something really super specific. So you ask that in your head, in your mind, or you you ask the question out loud. That's really powerful. Or even write it down. I have notebooks all over the house and in my handbag where I just use them to jot things down, and I find it really helps. Really helps with my guidance, with my intuition. Now, before you actually ask for that guidance and ask that question that you want answering, it's important to center, to realign and center. And we've already done a little bit of it, because remember I said stop and breathe. Just doing that will center you. It will center you back to that flow of energy. Remember we said right at the beginning that we will have this vibrational flow of energy. Well, by stopping and just breathing in and out through your nose nice and gradually will help to center yourself. Then that will have just created that gap between all that negative thought and feeling in your higher self, so that you can then ask that specific question that you want to get guidance on. Okay, how can we further develop our intuition? Because you'll probably already feel instinctively, again, that's the intuition, that this is right for you. So you're probably wanting to really start to develop it. Well, simply put, the more you do it, the more you listen to it, the more you trust it, the more that you take action on it, the more it will come through for you. And you'll find that it will be little whispers, very, very subtle, and it will become louder and louder the more you choose to listen. But center, it's really important to center yourself so that you can just stop the busyness. So I think the part of the problem is that we're so busy all the time that we just cannot hear those whispers. We can't hear those subtle messages coming through for us. Okay, maybe in the mornings, first thing in the morning, just do that breathing activity and ask a question. Okay, so then obviously it's really, really important to stay open and trusting to receive, because you're going to get that guidance. You are definitely going to get that guidance, okay? But you have to stay open. You have to trust in it. And this is something that a lot of my clients struggle with, and I struggled with. I remember, how do we know that it is our intuition and not just wishful thinking that's coming through for us? And I always say, listen to your body, pay attention to your body. If you've asked a question, you've been struggling, you stop and center, you ask that specific question, and then stop again and listen, and something will come through for you. You will find that a thing will pop into your head, or a feeling will pop into your body. Pay attention to your body. If it relaxes, it's your intuition. That's the perfect decision for you. If you're all tense and it just doesn't feel right, it's just fear that's coming through for you. That's all. Okay, so that's a really, really good way of knowing whether it's your intuition or not. And that brings me to another very important point, which I say to my clients a lot. If you're struggling with something, often we tend to go to other people, don't we? We ask our friends, we ask family members for their opinion. Remember that they will be coming at that aspect, that question, from their own emotional point of view. So it will be a decision that will be right for them. Maybe, maybe not, but it will definitely not necessarily be right for you. And this is why our intuition is so important to use and get into, okay? I'm not saying don't ever talk to anyone ever again, but just maybe talk to people that you trust, that are quite wise and thoughtful, and maybe people that are quite instinctive, and who they are. You listen to them, you listen to the words that they use. If they talk about vibes and gut feeling, and that they will be the people that you will want to be talking to if you're struggling and you feel you need that second opinion. And probably what you'll find is the more you use your intuition, the less you'll need to talk to people about things, little things you can solve for yourself, or resolve for yourself, should I say. So the next thing is our intent. I mentioned our intent earlier on. What is it and how can we set it? Okay, so our intent is simply a thought process where we think to ourselves, oh, I'd like to do that. I'd like to start doing that. And it just affirms what it is we want to bring more into our lives and we resolve. We're then determined to make that change, and that is our intent. And it has an energetic kind of process behind it when we set our intent. So by setting it, I mean either saying it in our mind's eye or writing it down, really, really powerful, or saying it out loud, I am going to. And, say it regularly to yourself. I'm going to finish this masterclass. I'm going to do the activities that Zoe set me to do. That's setting our intent. But writing it down, saying it out loud, really, really help to solidify that intent. And because it's energy, at the end of the day, it has an energy behind it. And this will really help that. Okay? So, and by setting our intent, it helps to keep us focused on those goals, okay? So what is inspired action? You may hear me talking about inspired action, or others talking about inspired action. So we've asked of our intuition what it is, you know, that we want to achieve, or you know, we've asked a specific question. We've got the guidance and we know it's our intuition because we've paid attention to our body and it feels right. Then we need to take action on it, don't we? And this is what I mean by inspired action. We've been inspired through our intuition to take action because we absolutely know without a doubt that it's right for us. Okay, so a little tip around that is just to start small. Okay, don't sort of start with big things like, you know, changes in our jobs and houses, you know, ideal homes and where to live, and, you know, just start with something small that won't have a massive consequence on us, and just start practicing with those things. Okay. And as I said before, you know, developing our intuition, listening to those whispers of our heart, allows us to make decisions in the moment that are perfect for us. Okay. So that brings us on to our daily task for day 5. So practice centering yourself. Do this daily or even moment by moment when you think of it. So just taking those long drawn in breaths through your nose, and just even maybe start your day like that. Just put aside 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, just to do that. I'm sure that everyone can find that, you know, just start your day like that and put aside 5 minutes. Now, then you have the you will hopefully have more clarity in the energetic space to get clear on what guidance you would like. You know, there may be several things that you're struggling with and you like guidance on. Make a list and then choose one aspect, send to yourself again and ask specifically for guidance on that aspect. You know, be very specific, be very concise. Again, stop your mind, you know, stop the business of your mind, listen and write down what comes through for you. Next step, take inspired action, set your intent and say, I am going to blah, 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 to achieve blah, blah, blah. And then work with the affirmation to support you in all of this. Okay then, so for day 5, what have we looked at? We've looked at the difference between intent, setting our intent, and our intuition. We've learned what our intuition is and how to be specific to ours for guidance, and how to know whether it is our intuition or whether it's just wishful thinking that's coming through for us. We've talked about how to develop our intuition. We've talked about our intent and all the things to do with that and how to set our intent. And we've talked about inspired action. Okay then, so I hope you enjoyed day 5 and I will see you in the next video.